ever practiced for a long time and still felt trapped inside the same emotions? Have you ever worked so hard on your spiritual life and yet life still feels heavy and unchanged? Welcome back to the channel. Sit down with me for a moment. Let your breath slow. Let your face soften. Let your mind stop running ahead. Because today we are going to talk about something many sincere people quietly suffer with. You keep practicing. You keep reading. You keep chanting. You keep trying to be better. But you still feel stuck. You still feel pulled by the same anger, the same fear, the same cravings, the same sadness, the same resentment. And after a while, a painful thought appears. Maybe nothing works. Maybe I am doing it wrong. Maybe the path is not real. Maybe I am broken. If you have ever felt that, this video is for you. Today I want to share two main ideas. First, practice is not only about doing more. Practice is about aligning your effort with right view. If the direction is off, more effort only creates more exhaustion. Second, the biggest obstacle is often not outside you. It is the way you are practicing. Sometimes we practice like bargaining. Sometimes we practice like escaping. Sometimes we practice like collecting spiritual objects for the ego. And when practice becomes transaction, escape, or identity, it loses its power to transform. I want to make this real through a story. It begins with Ethan. Ethan was not lazy. Ethan was the kind of person who could stay consistent when others quit. Ethan woke early. Ethan kept a schedule. Ethan read teachings. Ethan listened to talks. Ethan recited daily. Ethan attended retreats. Ethan volunteered when possible. Ethan even tried to keep moral discipline in daily life. From the outside, Ethan looked like someone walking the path. But inside, Ethan felt like someone walking in circles. Ethan had a temper that kept returning. Ethan had anxiety that kept returning. Ethan had a deep dissatisfaction that kept returning, like a dull ache behind every success. And Ethan hated that feeling because it made Ethan feel ungrateful. Ethan would think, I have so much. Why am I still restless? That restlessness made Ethan practice even harder. More recitation, more study, more practices, more rituals, more vows, more goals. But after a while, Ethan noticed a strange pattern. The more Ethan practiced, the more Ethan judged others. The more Ethan practiced, the more Ethan judged Ethan. The more Ethan practiced, the more Ethan feared failing at practice. The more Ethan practiced, the more Ethan used practice as proof that Ethan was good. And under all of that, Ethan still felt stuck. One day, Ethan went to a retreat. Not a dramatic place, just a simple hall with simple meals and long hours of sitting. Ethan thought, this time I will break through. This time I will push past the wall. This time the mind will finally become peaceful. On the second day, Ethan felt even worse. The mind was loud. The body was uncomfortable. Old memories surfaced. Old anger surfaced. Old guilt surfaced. Ethan tried to control the mind with force. Ethan tried to crush thoughts. Ethan tried to win against the mind. The harder Ethan tried, the more the mind rebelled. At night, Ethan could not sleep. Ethan felt frustrated and ashamed. Ethan thought, I am failing. I should be better by now. I have practiced for years. On the third day, Ethan asked to speak with a senior monk named Venerable Jian. The monk was older, but not theatrical. His robes were worn. His movements were calm. His eyes were steady. He did not act like someone trying to impress anyone. Ethan poured out the complaint. I practice and practice, but I cannot get out. I feel trapped. I feel like I am doing everything. Why am I still the same? The monk listened without interrupting. Then he asked one question. When you practice, what are you trying to get? Ethan hesitated. Ethan wanted to answer the correct way. Ethan wanted to say wisdom, compassion, awakening, but the monk waited. The silence made Ethan honest. Ethan said, I want relief. I want peace. I want life to stop hurting me. The monk nodded slowly, as if he had heard this 10,000 times and loved the person anyway. There is nothing wrong with wanting relief, but your way of practicing is like trying to use the Dharma as a painkiller. You swallow it to numb discomfort. Then you wonder why you do not grow. Ethan felt stung. Then Ethan felt something else. Recognition. The monk continued. Practice is not a transaction. It is a transformation. If you practice to escape life, you will return to the same suffering again and again, because you never look at its causes. If you practice to win a spiritual badge, you strengthen the ego and the ego becomes the new prison. If you practice to force the mind into silence, you create a war inside. That war becomes your meditation. Ethan asked, then what is the right way? The monk said, we do not begin with right method. We begin with right view. Right view means you are willing to see cause and effect in your own mind. You are willing to see that anger is not caused only by other people. Anger is caused by conditions inside you. Expectation, pride, fear, attachment to being right, attachment to being respected, attachment to control. You are willing to see that craving is not caused only by objects outside. Craving is caused by the belief that you cannot be okay without that object. You are willing to see that anxiety is not caused only by uncertainty outside. Anxiety is caused by the mind trying to control the future. Right view is not a philosophy. It is a willingness to be honest. Ethan said, I understand cause and effect. I believe in karma. The monk smiled gently and said, believing is not the same as seeing. Then he gave Ethan an image. He said, imagine you are rowing a boat across a river. You row and row. You get exhausted. You feel you should be closer to the other side. But you look up and you realize the boat has been pointed slightly upstream the whole time. So, your effort is real. But your direction is off. You are not failing because you are weak. You are failing because the alignment is off. Ethan sat with that. Then the monk said something that changed Ethan. He said, you keep asking why you are not progressing. But you are not asking the question that matters. What in your practice is not in accord with the Dharma? Ethan asked, how do I find that? The monk said, stop measuring practice by how much you do. Start measuring practice by what it does to your mind. Does your practice reduce greed? Does your practice reduce hatred? Does your practice reduce ignorance? Does your practice increase compassion? Does your practice increase clarity? Does your practice make you more honest? If the answer is no, then your practice is not landing. It might be busy. It might look spiritual, but it is not transforming the roots. Ethan felt both embarrassed and relieved. Embarrassed because Ethan had been using practice as proof of worth. Relieved because there was a way forward. The monk then asked Ethan to look closely at how Ethan practiced. When you recite, are you present or are you rushing to finish? When you bow, are you humble or are you performing? When you study, are you digesting or are you collecting? When you meditate, are you observing or are you fighting? Ethan realized the truth. Ethan rushed. Ethan performed. Ethan collected. Ethan fought. Ethan practiced like a person trying to pass an exam. Ethan did not practice like a person trying to wake up. So the monk offered a simple instruction that sounded almost as simple. He said, do less but do it correctly. Ethan asked, what does correctly mean? The monk said, correctly means you bring the mind into the action and you watch the intention behind the action. You recite one line with presence, not 100 lines with distraction. You bow with gratitude, not with desperation. You sit and observe, not sit and wrestle. You meet discomfort and learn from it, not meet discomfort and beg to escape it. Ethan tried this during the next sitting period. The mind still had thoughts. The body still had discomfort. But Ethan did not fight. Ethan watched the urge to fight. Ethan watched the urge to control. Ethan watched the urge to become perfect. And Ethan noticed something strange. The urge to become perfect was not wisdom. It was fear. Fear that Ethan was not enough. Fear that Ethan would not be safe unless Ethan could force the mind to be calm. Fear that Ethan needed to win against the mind. This is a crucial point. Many people practice to avoid feeling not enough. They think practice will give them a solid identity called spiritual person. But the Dharma does not give you a new costume. It shows you the emptiness of costume. The monk told Ethan, when practice becomes identity, it becomes a cage. Because then every difficult day feels like failure. Every strong emotion feels like proof you are not spiritual. Every relapse becomes shame. And shame is a heavy chain. So the monk taught Ethan another method. Whenever you feel stuck, ask one honest question. What am I protecting right now? Am I protecting my pride? Am I protecting my image? Am I protecting a story about being right? Am I protecting a craving? Am I protecting control? And then ask a second question. What would compassion do right now? Compassion for yourself and compassion for others. Not indulgence, not weakness. Compassion with wisdom. Ethan started applying this in daily life after the retreat. At work, a colleague criticized Ethan in a meeting. Ethan felt he tries. The old Ethan would have reacted with sharp words and private grudges. The practicing Ethan paused and asked, "What am I protecting?" The answer was painful. "I am protecting my image." Then Ethan asked, "What would compassion do?" Compassion with wisdom would speak calmly, clarify facts, and not humiliate anyone. So Ethan responded with steadiness. Later the colleague apologized privately. That apology was not the point, though it was nice. The point was that Ethan did not plant new anger karma that day. Ethan did not add fuel to the fire. That is what skillful practice looks like. It does not eliminate all problems instantly. It changes what you plant inside problems. Another day, Ethan felt anxiety about money. The mind started spinning. The old Ethan would have tried to chant to erase fear, like trying to scrub the sky clean. The practicing Ethan sat down and watched fear like a scientist. Fear is here. What is fear saying? Fear was saying, "I cannot survive uncertainty." Then Ethan asked, "Is that true?" Ethan saw the past. Ethan had survived many uncertainties. Ethan had adapted. Ethan had found help. Ethan had learned skills. Fear was not a fact. Fear was a habit. So Ethan breathed and set a clean intention. May I be clear. May I take one practical step. May I not poison my mind with fantasy. Then Ethan made a plan. One small step, and dedicated it. May this effort reduce suffering for myself and others. That dedication mattered because it prevented the mind from collapsing into self-obsession. Now, some of you might be thinking, this sounds like ordinary psychology. Yes, it is ordinary. Buddhism is not trying to be exotic. It is trying to be liberating. The Dharma is not a mysterious costume. It is a direct way to see how suffering is created and how suffering is ended. And the end of suffering begins with seeing what you are doing. Ethan began noticing the most common mistake that kept practice stuck. Ethan was practicing with grasping. Grasping for results. Grasping for special experiences. Grasping for peace as a possession. Grasping for certainty. Grasping for spiritual approval. Grasping is subtle. It can hide inside a beautiful activity like meditation. Use it. You breathe. You recite. But inside you are saying, "Give me calm now. Give me a sign now. Give me a breakthrough now." That grasping creates tension. Tension creates frustration. Frustration creates aversion. Aversion creates conflict. Conflict creates suffering. So the monk taught Ethan to practice with a different attitude. Practice like planting seeds, not like demanding fruit. You plant today. You water today. You do not scream at the soil. You do not dig up the seed every hour to check if it is growing. You trust cause and effect. This is the humility of the path. Ethan asked the monk, "How do I know if I am practicing correctly?" The monk gave a clear answer. your life becomes lighter. Not necessarily easier, but lighter. You become less reactive. You recover faster after conflict. You feel more compassion toward others suffering. You feel more responsibility for your mind without self-hate. You become more honest. You become more patient. You become less obsessed with being right. That is progress. Not fireworks in meditation. Not vision. Not special dreams. Progress is a quieter mind and a warmer heart. Now let me speak to you directly. If you have been practicing for years and still feel stuck, do not assume the path is false. First, check your alignment. Are you using practice to escape your emotions instead of understanding them? Are you using practice to bargain with life? Are you using practice to build an identity? Are you practicing with impatience? Are you practicing with self-hatred? Are you practicing while still feeding harmful speech and habits every day? Because here is the hard truth. If you meditate in the morning and gossip all afternoon, you are planting to different fields. If you chant at night and scream at your family during the day, you are planting to different fields. If you study teachings but refuse to apologize, you are planting to different fields. Practice becomes powerful when it is integrated. Integrated means your speech becomes part of your practice. Your spending becomes part of your practice. Your relationships become part of your practice. Your work becomes part of your practice. It is not only what you do on a cushion. It is what you do when your ego is threatened. So let me offer you a simple daily method. Not as a list, but as a rhythm you can remember. In the morning, set one clean intention. May I be clear today. May I be kind today. May I not create harm today. Then choose one practice you can do consistently. Even if it is small, consistency is more important than intensity. During the day, catch one moment of reactivity and pause. Ask, what am I protecting? Then choose a cleaner response. In the evening, reflect without blaming yourself. Where did I plant good causes? Where did I plant harmful causes? Then dedicate any goodness. May it support wisdom and compassion for all. This is a complete path in daily life. Now let us return to Ethan one last time, because Ethan experienced a turning point that matters. A few months after the retreat, Ethan faced a major trigger. A family conflict that usually exploded into weeks of coldness. Someone said something insulting. The old pattern started. The mind wanted to attack. The mind wanted to punish. The mind wanted to win. Ethan felt the surgeon remembered the monk's question. Are you here to trade or are you here to wake up? Ethan realized that in that moment, Ethan had a choice. Ethan could trade peace for ego, or Ethan could wake up inside the pain. Ethan took a breath. Ethan felt the pain. Ethan did not deny it. Ethan did not decorate it with hatred. Ethan spoke firmly, set a boundary, and then let it go. That night Ethan cried, not because Ethan was weak, but because Ethan finally saw the old chain. Pain becomes anger. Anger becomes speech. Speech becomes damage. Damage becomes regret. Regret becomes shame. Shame becomes more anger. The chain repeats. Ethan broke the chain. Not forever, not perfectly, but in that moment. That is awakening. A moment of freedom inside a moment of conditioning. And here is the deepest point. Sometimes you feel stuck not because the Dharma is absent, but because you are not practicing in the Dharma. Practicing in the Dharma means your practice reduces the three poisons: greed, hatred, ignorance. If your practice does not reduce them, then your practice is missing the heart. So if you feel stuck, do not panic. Do not hate yourself. Do not accuse the path. Turn the light around. Look at intention. Look at grasping. Look at impatience. Look at identity. Look at the daily habits you still feed. Then make one small adjustment and repeat it. A boat turns by degrees. A life turns by degrees. And the mind turns by degrees. Now let us land this gently. If you have been practicing and still feel stuck, you are not alone. Many sincere people go through this. It is often a sign that you are ready to move from surface practice to root practice. Surface practice is doing things. Root practice is transforming the mind that does things. Surface practice can become performance. Root practice becomes honesty. Surface practice can become bargaining. Root practice becomes surrender to cause and effect. Surface practice can become escape. Root practice becomes intimacy with reality. The story of Ethan is not about becoming special. It is about becoming aligned. When you align method with right fuel, your effort stops being wasted. And when your effort stops being wasted, you start feeling a quiet strength. A strength that does not depend on mood. That strength is merit. That strength is karmic stability. That strength is the beginning of real freedom. Now I want to hear from you. Have you ever felt stuck even while practicing? What do you think might be off in alignment? Share your experience in the comments. Someone reading might feel less alone because of your honesty. If you want more long-form teachings and stories like this, subscribe and like the video. And if you want to support the channel so we can keep making deep dives like this, consider becoming a member. May your practice be sincere. May your view be clear. May your heart be compassionate. And may your path, little by little, move toward awakening.
There are moments when you see something, and your heart simply whispers, "This one is meant for me." Bracelet carries more than beads. It carries intention, protection, and quiet strength. Something to guide your thoughts and keep your spirit steady. If you felt that gentle pull toward any of the bracelets shown, the purchase link is waiting in the description, and the full collection is displayed on our channel store. Follow your intuition. It rarely leads you wrong.